it is to delve into biased. I'm sure you can pick apart a lot of what I said, and sure, that's fine. I'm not afraid of or worried about being discredited. Now, this is something that actually has been on my mind a lot recently, and I have a lot of points in time in my life where I can see this, where I've noticed these things, and I have a problem applying small situations to my life at large. Like, there's various points where, for specifically, it was the beginning of last fall. I was in this nature trail between these big box stores, and I'd kind of wandered off the path, and I was just kind of walking, and I would just, you take random turns for, I'm not like I was planning out where I was going to walk. I was just kind of heading in a certain direction, and for whatever reason I felt like I needed to go right or left at a certain spot or whatever, and I turned right into the small opening, and I stopped for some, again, just, I don't know, I just felt like stopping right there, and I looked down, and I noticed this dragonfly just kind of sitting on this, on this weed there, and it was like the most amazing moment, because had I done anything different, I wouldn't have been arrived at that situation, and that's one example of many throughout my life, where I was just following my feet, I put faith in myself enough to know that I would know where I need to go, and it's unfortunately dying a little bit. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's my paradigm shifting, but I've wanted to wander for quite a while now. But I was worried, well, what about this, and what about this, and what might happen here, and it's okay to plan, but the problem is when you get to that point where you constantly doubt something, and challenge is good, challenge is fine, but this goes back to what I was saying about not getting into the net 2 meter. It's all too easy to have your knowing diluted when you get things figured out. You get to a point where when you read something, all you'll be doing is just seeing a rehashed version of the truth, and at that point, it's too easy to dilute what you know. So, even from there, there was this part that I was making for a truck, well, specifically the bed. I was, building it myself, and a couple people have been like, oh, plan this out really, really well. Plan. And I was like, okay, that's good advice, but that's not my way. So I had a good idea of what I wanted to do, and I just followed that idea through. And sure, there were points that didn't work out perfectly, but that had more to do with, hindsight, or not having the experience or understanding enough to, make those small decisions, or, burning the midnight oil for a month on end, and whatnot, and small mistakes happen. But, my point is, it turned out very, very well, because I made a imaginative, fluid plan, and I followed it to the, best of my intention. But it wasn't like, I was like following a math formula. It was just like I had a simple set of things that I was going to do, and that's really it. My point here is that I look at my life in those small situations, and I have a problem with that. Like, well, what might happen? And yeah, that's true. There's a great amount of possibility for disaster, but if you follow your feet, and if you know yourself well enough, and like, again, there's multiple points in my life where I've just kind of been moseying, going along in my own way, and then I come upon something, essentially, by quote-unquote accident. But I have problems extending that to my life at large, and we get to those points, where we're just so worried, we get so worked up, and well, what about this and this and this and this, and what could happen, and whatnot. But it's really important that you look at the things that your life has been showing you, and extend faith to them, to yourself, to not always doubt, and just follow your feet, And that also gets into what I was saying at the beginning here about you must not have thoughts, and the point is to just be in a moment. And yes, that's very important, it's very true, but at the same time, your life has been all that you need. You've had so many answers given to you throughout time, throughout your life, and if you look back on them and you're able to correlate the various things, amazing things will pop out from them, and you'll be able to extract, well, you should be able to extract meaning and knowledge, which is what life is all about, Yeah. How are you going to do that from your thoughtless position, What you'll attain there is a bliss, and I get that. And yes, there can be knowledge that can be extracted from quietness. I definitely agree with that too, but again, this is about being neutrality, having that road. Not picking and choosing sides. Not about the biased. Not about creating those situations. Do what you know and not what you see.